Hello and welcome. My name is Chris from ChristopherHole.com. Welcome to part number 3 of this Back to Basics snippets. And what we're going to be talking about in this video is a little bit more about the body, where we've been talking a lot about sort of the exercise model in video 1, and more about the exercise model, but a little bit more towards exercise itself and some exercises in video 2. What we're now going to look at is the body and how it moves. And it's principle number 6 of the Back to Basics workshop. Obviously, there's 11 principles within the Back to Basics, which is talking about pain, joint pain, low back pain, but also it's talking about the body and how it moves, because it's my belief that if we can understand how the body moves, if we can teach it to move that way, there's going to be less issues with regards to injuries and, let's say, illness as well. So this is principle number 6, the primary function of the axial skeleton. Now the axial skeleton is your torso, so your spine, your ribs, your pelvis. So the primary function of the axial skeleton is to create stability. So that is, in a sense, your foundation. If you can picture a canoe on water and a cannon within it, your torso, your axial skeleton, is the canoe. And the primary function is to assist movement. So your movement creators are your limbs. So the cannon is the limbs. Now, if you've got very powerful limbs, so very powerful arms and legs, but a bad core, or a bad axial skeleton or a bad torso, it's like firing that cannon from a canoe, which is going to be very, very unstable. So what we have to do is we have to create stability within the torso. Now, if we are doing exercises like sit-ups, crunches, side bends, twisting exercises, poor deadlifting because we round our back, poor squatting because we round our back, poor pushing because we round our back, or whatever it may be, whatever exercise it is, we are creating an unstable torso. Because if we were to talk further, we would talk about how the spine works. Basically, the spine is best in its neutral position. If you take it from that, it creates extra pressure, which again adds to creating an injury, which again I discuss in the Back to Basics seminar. But just for this one, what we want to do is we want to create that solid torso. We create the solid torso by following the basic skills, which is the foundation, which is what most people don't have. What that does, that anchors the canoe. It anchors the canoe to the floor, whatever it may be. When you then fire the cannon, which is your limbs, you are much more stable, because the secondary function is to assist movement. So if we are doing exercises like sit-ups and crunches, you are creating movement from your torso. You're creating movement from your abs, which is bending your torso. Now, your spine isn't built that way. Your torso isn't built to do that. Your torso and your spine are built to be stable and in some way static. Now, I say that loosely because your spine doesn't have to be static. It isn't, let's say, meant to be static. Your lumbar spine is, because that's the stable part of your spine, and that's the way that's supposed to be. Obviously, your thoracic spine, which is upper, it can move, and I'll expand on moving the spine in the Back to Basics seminar. But for now, your spine is best in that neutral position. If we start bending it, we weaken our spine and we weaken our torso. If we do lots of sit-ups and crunches, it does the exact same thing. So what we want to do is we want to create a solid, stable base in the torso. If we do that, it allows our limbs to work that much more efficiently and that much more effectively. It makes stronger limbs, it makes more stable limbs, it reduces injury to the limbs and the torso and the spine. So all in all, if we train a certain way, which is basically following the basic skills, we keep our body safer and we set the foundation for a much stronger sport-specific movements or advanced fitness. because that's laying the foundation. If we just negate the basic skills and go straight to sport specific, we're vulnerable, which is why the triangle is in that upside down pyramid position. Because the way people are exercising, doing lots of sit-ups and crunches, they're creating poor axial skeleton stability or torso stability. So what we want to do is we want to get that torso and make it stable. Once we make it stable, we can make the joints function that much better, which is only going to increase our advanced fitness and our sport specific, which again goes towards the optimal exercising model, which is basically the opposite of the over exercising model. So what we want to do is create that within the body and create that within our exercise regime, because like I've said throughout, the exercise regime that people are following at the moment is what's the word I'm looking for, is backwards. What we want to start doing is we want to start being a lot more proactive and building a solid foundation so our sport specific can build on top of that. Because if you ask any house builder, do you build your house from the roof down? No. They dig the foundations first and they build it from the foundation to floor 1 to floor 2 to floor 3, however many floors it's got, but they go from the foundation up, which is the basic skills up. Exercise at the moment is done from the roof down. What we want to start doing, and this is what we start doing at Christopher Hole Training, this is what we start doing at the Back to Basics. We build the foundation, which is the basic skills, which is why it's called Back to Basics, because we're going back to the fundamentals, and one of the fundamentals and one of the principles is this one. The primary function of the axial skeleton or the torso is to create stability. You cannot do that by using sit-ups and crunches. You can only do that by using certain exercises in a certain way and making sure the joints function properly. And that's what the basic skills are all about, is creating that. And that's what you learn at the Back to Basics workshop. And if you obviously then continue on through my training, that's what I create. Because from teaching personal trainers for the last 4 years and for teaching the general public for the last 6 years, this is what I've started to see, is that people are training backwards. And what we need to do is we need to change that model and we need to start making people move forward, which is another program that I teach, moving forward. We need to train them in the right way and move them forward rather than backwards. So many thanks for watching. I hope to see you at the Back to Basics workshop. It's probably the most profound workshop that I know of, not because it's so so different, but just because it's so damn simple. That's why it's so profound, because it's so intuitive. People know this, they just don't realize they know it, because the light bulb happens every single time. Every time I stand up in front of people and describe what's in Back to Basics, they go, oh, is that right? Well, I kind of already knew that. And that's the beauty of it, is that it's so profound because it's so damn simple. So I hope that's been insightful for you. I hope it inspires you to come to the workshop, because it is the most profound thing I know of. And I hope to see you at Back to Basics workshop. Okay, my name's Chris from christopherhole.com. I will speak to you in a future video and hopefully at the Back to Basics workshop.